Welcome in everyone. This is another expert riff video. In this video I'm going to be talking about the max score runs. I don't make maps every week and I have a lot of people ask me what they're for and why you'd follow the line. And following the line, indeed, some of the bosses that you have to go through, you have to go through them before you reach max rewards, which is not efficient. But what they do is, if you follow all the steps that I mark out on my map there, you will get the maximum XP for your mythic weapon. So if you're trying to level up your mythic gear, then this is what you do. The threat will get high doing this. So there are maps for the normal rift, which you can follow to maximize your XP. In this video, I've just reached the orange stage, which is bosses with fights behind them. This boss is Renegade. Already showed you how to beat him. You just take cleanse with you, and I'm attuning my armor to Goblin, so I've got 3 times Goblin attunements because the other enemies are Goblin here. And the next boss after this one is Breaker, so I'm gonna want Goblin attunements here anyway. The potions are blue protect potions and haste potions. Haste potions are useful for this boss. As I'll show you, I'm just going to speed through the first round here. It's just a regular fight. What you do want to do is try and get into the second round with your rage and both your heroes' base powers charged if you can. Speed up this video a little bit. And into round 2. Yeah, my rage is not fully charged here, but I've got the haste potions, you see, because when you hit him, he has a chance to put dots on you and he has a chance to put dots on himself. I'm using haste potions here to make sure that he puts a dot on himself before I end the turn. And officially, there you go, he got poison. It stacks again. Did you see it blink? That's 2 poison stacks. I'm watching the icon closely. Every time it blinks, that's a stack. It blinked again, so that's 3 stacks, and then I finished the round with cleanse, and it nearly wipes him out in 1 turn. So yeah, I would recommend haste potions to just make this one a little bit quicker. And then he'll just go ahead and kill himself with that poison, and I can continue the round as a regular fight. I'll speed this up a little bit now we've got rid of the boss. And then I continue following the map, and since this is an orange node, there are fights behind it that I need to complete before I move on to the next boss, which is Breaker. So yeah, I'm just gonna go through those fights and I'll show you a couple more tips while I'm at it as well. I just wanted to show you this fight because I've brought the cleanse hero with me, which is useful when you're fighting goblins. Normally I'll just bring Ericsson and alternate the rages, but if the acid is causing you issues, bring cleanse with you. These swordsman guys here, they have a chance to put acid on you with their regular attack, and they put acid on you with their power. Now these are different. The acid from their power will do about 80 to 100,000, but the regular acid, it'll only do about 10k. So definitely watch out for which type of acid you have on you. If you watch, this acid is not doing a lot of damage to me right now, but if they use their power, it'll be a different type of acid. Watch at the end of this turn. But I've got Azar, so I can cleanse that away, and then it's not an issue anymore. But yeah, definitely watch for which type of acid you have on you. And skipping through those 2 fights there, and now that I've done that, I can move on to Breaker, which also has a fight behind him, so I marked him as orange on the map. And as ever, I'm going to attune the armor to Goblin. I'm going to take Ericsson and Logan, and I'm just going to alternate the rages. There's not a lot to this boss once you do have the method down. I've got blue protect potions as well. I normally just leave those equipped for when I do need them. Super useful to have. And I'm focusing attacks on the acid goblin because That's the only thing that can really cause me any issues here, is when he puts that acid on you for 80k. And sometimes they just decide not to even use their powers. I don't know what triggers this. Don't know exactly how that works, but see there, he didn't even use his power. And as ever, trying to go into round 2 with the rage full and both the hero base powers full. And you see here, I could start with a Logan rage, but I don't. I've got Ericsson, he's max star, so we have a chance to weaken. So I can pop his base power first. It didn't land. So now I can use the Logan rage to try and land that weaken again. And it worked. Cleared out all the other enemies because they were just regular ones this time. And then you're away, really. Simple as that. Just start alternating the rages and laying the damage on as best you can. And then again, using Ericsson base power before I use the Logan rage, trying to get the weaken. It didn't land there. So he's got Fury, so I popped a protect potion. And then I've got another turn to charge up the rage and try again with the weaken. These are all just little things that pop up that you need to sort of navigate by yourself. If you have been following the guides, you've got the sword, you've got the Maverick Gauntlet. None of this is really going to be an issue. It's just figuring out when to use what. That's the hard part, I guess. Figuring out when to use what and when to do what. But you get used to it. Yellow hero charms. Not for my class, but yellow hero charms. I was not expecting that. And then the last boss that I'm left with is Ravager. This one is from the normal rift, but it is quite tough. It's got the same strong versus all your buffs as the Scarecrow one that I can't pronounce. And yeah, this one is a tough one. So it's got Golem enemies, so I'm going to tune 3 pieces to Golem here. And when he hits you, he has a chance to buff himself. His power charges in like 1 turn. Yeah, this one can be tricky. So I'm just going to show you how I fight this one. And I use a couple of little tricks in here as well. So obviously the first round is just a regular fight. You want to try and clear out the burn golem things as quickly as you can, because that burn can be a bit of a problem when you don't have cleanse. Focusing attacks on those two. And then, as long as you're attuned to Golem on 3 pieces, the Awaken and Protects will protect you from the archers, and you'll take 0 damage from them, which is quite important when you've got a build like mine with no health charms at all. The threat is quite high, so they will deal a lot of damage. And then into round 2, my rage is not charged. So I'm trying to get a rage as quickly as I can. And you have to watch this boss carefully to make sure it lands. You see the weaken landed there? Now he just hit me and procced Fury on his self, look. You need to watch that carefully, because every time he hits you, he has a chance to do that and put Fury on himself. Now the weaken overrided the Fury. You have to watch the icons blinking. This one you got to watch properly closely. I use a protect potion here, and I deliberately do not swing the sword because he's about to use his power. And his power is strong versus all the buffs that the sword gives you. Now you see the Fury did not blink and it's still at 1. So that means the weaken is still active. I'm trying to get rid of the archer as quick as I can. His power is charged, so I need to delay it. I can't delay it without a potion. So I decided to use a protect potion and not swing my sword, so I don't have any buffs, which means his damage will stay at 100%. If I'd have swung the sword for 3 buffs, then his damage would have been 250%, and it would have gone straight over the protect potion and wiped me out in one shot. So when you're using the weapon for buffs like this, you have to be very careful for this boss and the Scarecrow one as well. So yeah, a little trick there for you can use against those bosses. Always be mindful when you should swing that weapon and get your buffs up. I have been James B09. Good luck out there.